Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring. Today is Monday, August 12th. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for coming and watching this short video. Couple things I'm going to show you in this video is an intraday long position that I took on VIX on the 5 minute. Really good signal, lots of confluences of signals that happen at the same time on multiple time frames, which is key. So I'm going to show you this trade, and we'll take a look at why I got in and how I managed the trade. And then also I did enter long a daily swing trade today on Disney as well. This past weekend, I did my weekend review podcast, and I did talk about this potential trade, and it did trigger today. So we'll get to that, and hopefully that will be helpful as well. So we'll some multiple time frames here. So let's start off with the VIX on the 5 minute. Well, here's the VIX on the daily, and I did talk about the VIX last Saturday for a potential trade on the daily time frame. And you can see, so this is the daily time frame. You can see the green box here. This is a bullish fair value gap. What makes it a bullish fair value gap? Well, this day back here on the 2nd of August, we went dramatically above this previous swing high here of July 25th. So we changed market structure to the upside. And by doing so, we created a bullish fair value gap. So this is bar 1 here on the 31st, bar 2 on the 1st of August, and bar 3 on the 2nd of August. And the green highlighted area that you see here is from the top of bar 1 to the bottom of bar 3. And this green area in here is where VIX could potentially bounce, okay? So we went straight up, straight back down, but we did today get into this possible area, this possible zone where you may anticipate a bounce. And so again, this is the daily, but because it got into this bounce area, I thought, okay, we're in the bounce area on the daily, so this would be a good time for me to look for a potential entry on the intraday charts, on the 5 minute charts. Does that make sense? All right, so on the bigger time frame, I'm not trading the bigger time frame, but the bigger time frame did get to a area where there could potentially be a bounce. So that's what got on my radar, and I was like, okay, we're in the green. So now let's go down to the 5 minute time frame, and I will show you the trade. All right, so let's go back. So on the daily, I mentioned that we did change market structure to the upside and then pull back. Remember that? Well, look at this. This is a repeating pattern that happened on the 5 minute, okay? It kind of looks similar to the daily, but it's not. It's the shorter time frame. But again, this large green box here is the bounceable area on the daily. So now that we're in the bounceable area, I want to look for a setup on the shorter time frame. Well, look at this. Here we have a low. We rally, we make a lower low, and then this big bar here today during the day took out this swing high. So what's the significance of that? The significance of that is that now on this shorter time frame, we have changed to a bullish market structure. And just like I showed you on the daily, it created its own fair value gap. Here is bar 1, here is bar 2, here is bar 3. So this blue box is the top of bar 1 to the bottom of bar 3. In this in this blue box here, this is the area where it should bounce. Now, just by itself, this is fine, but it makes the trade stronger because this pattern occurred. Let's go back one more time just for reference. You see how this pattern occurred on the daily? We broke structure, On the daily, we come back here. If I had to choose one way or the other, I would think that the VIX may bounce around here a little bit before heading higher. So when we go back to the 5-minute, now hopefully you can see that it's very, very similar on the 5-minute. We break structure, we create a fair value gap here where it should bounce, and that's exactly what happened. And so now I could have bought this when it rejected the top of the bullish or fair value gap. I didn't, but I could have. I bought here a little better price, but I bought here because now we have a V2 entry, bar 1, bar 2. Bar 2 goes below bar 1's low, bar 3 closes above bar 1's close. So I got long here at $52.11. Now, I placed a very tight stop. When you have a V2, your stop on this is going to be a close below halfway of the washout bar. This is the washout bar. This bar number 2 here, the top to the bottom, halfway in the middle is the washout bar. I placed my emergency stop 2 ATRs below, so I always have two stops. When I get my entry, first thing I do is I place my emergency stop 2 ATRs below. Second thing I do is I place my end of bar stop wherever I place it, depending on the strategy. Now, only 5% of the time I'm going to hit this 2 ATR emergency stop. 95% of the time, if I have a loss, it's going to be because I have a close below whatever my end of bar stop. And I decided on this one, the end of bar stop was simply a close below halfway of the washout bar of 51.95. So those are the stops. Now let's talk about profits. Well, if my ultimate risk on this particular trade is 2 ATRs, I want my risk to reward ratio to be at least 2 to 1. So I took my 2 ATR emergency stop, doubled it, and that is 4 ATRs is my profit target, right? If I'm willing to risk 2 ATRs, I better be willing to make 4 ATRs or more. Well, you can see it took off, and it was a super, just really easy super trade that just moved on up. I mean, my gosh, it was, let's see, almost 4% move on this. But again, I looked at the daily and I saw we had pulled back into a buyable area. That's what got me interested in the trade. So I went down to the lower time frame, and lo and behold, it's the same pattern. Break structure to the upside, creates its own bullish fair value gap in the highlighted blue, pull back to there. I waited for a V1 or a V2. That's exactly what I got. Got in, placed the emergency stop 2 ATRs below. My end of bar stop was simply a close below halfway the washout bar, so it was very close. Placed my 4 ATR profit target up there, and look at that. Just went right up to it. So hopefully that's helpful for you to see the importance of you using multiple time frames and multiple confluences of signals. But yeah, that was really, really great. If it was helpful, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button, really help out the channel. And now I just want to show you quickly a trade that I took today on the weekly time frames. I said daily, but I haven't done any weeklies for a while, so I just got in the habit of saying daily. But this is a weekly trade. Now, this one's it's a little unorthodox, but this is on Disney on the weekly. I got long here today, 85.90. So why? Well, let me bring your attention over to the monthly bars. Boy, we haven't talked about monthly bars for a long time. Let's look at the black line here on the monthly. What is this? This is the monthly 200 moving average. And you can see the last time we got down and rejected the 200 monthly average, we had a nice big rally up. Now, look, we're right back to the 200. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to have to work. It doesn't have to work, but it gives me a good line in the sand. So what I did was I highlighted the 200 monthly with this green line here. And then I went down into the weekly time frame. And do you see this green line here? This is the monthly 200 moving average. But do you see how on the shorter time frame, on the weekly, we literally went down to it, tested it, and we bounced back up. So I got long here, 85.90. Now, first thing I do is I always place my emergency 2 ATR stop below. So this here 76.50 is exactly 2 ATRs below my entry. If it ever gets to this point, I'm simply out of the trade. No questions asked. I'm out. My end of bar stop, and these bars close on Friday, is simply going to be a close below the 200 month moving average of 82.93. And then what's this line up here? This is my 1.5 ATR trailing stop level. If I get up to there, then I go into trailing stop level. One other thing that I wanted to point out to you too is you hear me talk about order blocks. I've talked a lot about a bearish order blocks, but this is a bullish order block here. This is where this should pounce from an order block scenario. This order block that happened back in October of 23. Well, it rallied from there, broke market structure to the upside, went from 77 up to 121. So a huge move up and then a pullback. Well, look at this. Not only did we reject the monthly 200 moving average, we also bounced out of the bullish order block on the weekly. So I know a lot of things going on there with that trade. Hope it's not too confusing for all of you, but did want to show that I did enter a weekly trade here at 85.90 on Disney. So if you'd like to learn more about my trading, if you'd like to learn more about these strategies, there's several ways to do it. First of all, easiest way, just watch my weekend review podcast on YouTube. I go over all the trades that I took in the previous week. I'll go over this one, Disney, because this is a trade I'm taking during the week. On the dailies and the weeklies, I talk about when I get in, why I got in, where I'm going to place my stops, how I'm going to manage the trade. I think that will be helpful, and you can learn a lot that way as well. I also talk about the potential setups I have for the coming week as well. Number two, I teach a private one-on-one stock trading course in the evening time via Skype. It's one-on-one. It's just me and the student. It is about a 5-week program. I teach 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. I teach you all the different approaches that I use, teach you step by step exactly how to identify them, how to place your stops, and how to manage the trade. I've taught so many people from around the world and have had such good results, all the way from absolute beginners all the way up to hedge fund managers. So if that's of interest to you, my email is in the link at the description. All you have to do is send me an email and we can start the discussion. But you're going to learn a lot. It's an investment in yourself, and you're really going to have a skill that you can use the rest of your life. And then thirdly, I have a really good online course available at udemy.com where I teach the deep dip buy stock trading strategy. And I've sold so many of those around the world. It's 9.5 hours of video. It's very affordable. It's somewhere between $30 and $50 depending on the day. Udemy sets the price. I think I have 4.9 stars on that course, but it's super affordable, and there's a lot of content there, and I teach you that one particular strategy, but that's a great place to get started. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments about the trades that I discussed today, just leave them in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you. But other than that, I appreciate you being here, really do, and I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.